New in my shop, we have these two holographic stickers. Look at them, super shiny. We have this reverse mermaid booty and this little creepy Sketch Scout Halloween costume. Get them in my shop, KaseyGolden.com. After taking a solid 8-month hiatus, I am super back into working on my webcomic that I started, what was it? August of last year? September of last year? I don't remember. It was last year at some point. The Sketch Scouts comic was started off as just something simple that I wanted to make to promote my artist patches on my website. As I continued to draw the characters and make up a story, I kind of fell in love with the characters and I wanted to keep creating this comic. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to be working on a comic page from sketch to finish. I'll be honest, the way I work on my comic is probably not the best way to work on a comic. Like I said, I created this comic sort of on a whim as a way to promote some patches in my shop, and the way I work on my comic is probably not the best. Do I have a script written out, a document of the story and everything written from panel to panel, ready to go? I do not. I kind of just sketch the comic and write it as I go along. I have the whole story sort of in my head and I kind of have an idea of where I want to go. Aside from that, I just kind of wing it. I have fun winging it from panel to panel. So where I start is panel number 1. First and foremost, I do like to have the drawing guide on. This just makes it very easy for me to create straight lines and sort of plan things out a little bit. It's a little hard to see because it's not the darkest color. And from there, I just kind of go for it. So I kind of already know what I want these panels to look like. Now, if you're worried about watching this video and getting spoilers about my comic, to be honest, it's not the most story-driven comic, and even though I do have little storylines throughout, it's more about just like silly jokes and fun things to look at. I don't know. There is a story, definitely, but it's not a heavy story or anything. It's definitely a fun, lighthearted story. If you need a quick reminder on what my comic is about, it's about basically a Girl Scout group, but instead of girls, what? But basically, they're a troupe of artists who do similar things to Girl Scouts, but they focus on more art-related things to earn their artist merit badges, which, like I mentioned, I have created myself. We've got the drawing on the same layer badge. You earn this by accidentally drawing your line work on your sketch layer. Completed sketchbook badge, hashtag artist badge, the collector's badge, one of my favorites, the whip badge. Anyways, back to the comic. I quickly sort of jot down what I want our character to say, and sometimes I even change what they say as I write it. All right, the layout and quick sketch for our first panel is done. All of my comics are in this square 4 format. I'll be honest, I did that because I had a lot of social media in mind, but also I just like to keep it simple. Sure, I could make them very long and sort of vary the panels, but I just really wanted to focus on quick and snappy, silly, fun drawings and little jokes here and there. And I think I want him playfully playing. All right, we've got our old man standing there, and he's also got some dialogue. Okay, I think I decided that I actually want him to be addressing the character by name. So we're gonna knock out but, and then we're going to put our character's name. All right, lots of text. I have found that either my panels are super quiet and really focuses on dramatic drawings, or is very wordy. And it seems like this is going to be one of those pages that is just a little bit more on the wordy side. I'm feeling a little dramatic for this one, so let's go ahead and color the whole square. Black, I say, but I use red to sketch. I want to do a zoom in on our character's speaking face, all dramatic like. Actually, I think maybe I drew our character a little low, so let's bring that up a little bit. I want room for the mouth. All right, so we've got our super zoomed in, dramatic view of our character's face, and they are going to say something dramatic, obviously. I might put a speech bubble there and actually write the words, but then have the character in the shadows. Maybe I could do that. We'll see. And why not? Let's end this page on a very silly, sort of like jokey ending. Okay, so our old man is all serious, talking about some sort of mystery that's going on with the Sketch Scouts, and suddenly he's busting out knives to suggest they carve pumpkins at such an intense moment. He's kind of a silly, crazy old man. That's kind of his thing. But yeah, all the times I just sort of throw down the general shapes of the characters, and I will go back when I'm actually inking it and coloring it, and that's when I'll put in more of the detail, I say as I put in detail. So I think this is good for the sketch. What I'll do is put this at about, 10% opacity, and then move on to our line work. Now, if you're wondering why it is I sketch in red, I just think it makes it easier once I start inking to really separate the black lines from the red lines. That way I don't get any sort of confused, and it just sort of helps separate everything. Now, I know you're also wondering, Kasey, what brushes do you use? A lot of my quick work, sort of like my inking, my bubble work, and of course my sketching, I do in dry ink. It's just a very nice, solid brush with a little bit of texture. I really like it. And as far as the line work goes, I actually go to the sketching and use technical pencil. Again, it's just a really nice sort of textured brush. It's solid, but it's got some really nice textures, and I like to keep my comic sort of loose and not as tight and clean as I normally make things. Again, trying to embrace the sort of messy, quick work with these so that I don't spend too much time on them. I just want this to be a fun project that I myself enjoy and have this collection of stories. That being said, let's get into inking this piece. Obviously, as you can see, I don't follow my sketches exactly to a T. I definitely change things as I feel like they need to be changed, and I mean, obviously the sketches are just kind of there as a guide and just general sort of what I want these comics to look like. Just a quick layout, and I, definitely make changes as I go. Like, for example, I made this little guy's freaking head way too big. He's supposed to be really young. He's just a little guy, and his head is freaking massive, so I'm just going to, I'm just gonna scale him down a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. I'm still not sold on his face. I think his face is just something about it. Something about it. Let's see. Drawing her buns is definitely my favorite thing to do in this comic. All I do is draw 2 big circles, fill them in, and then just do some scribbles. I do any adjusting if I need to, like if they're just not quite in the position that I want them to be in, and then cut away the excess that is behind her, and there you go. Her hair. Okay, it is time to tackle this mysteriously dark panel that I'm not really sure what I want to do with yet. Do I want to make it all dark, or do I want to make the speech bubble? I actually think it might be nice to make this speech bubble white. So this is quite dramatic. The only thing is that my character has gray fur, or whatever our character is made out of, and this just kind of makes him look like he has black fur. So I'm going to save this, but I'm going to try something else to make it dramatic. Okay, so I've got the zoom in dramatic shot of our character here, and I think I'm just going to keep it like that. I think maybe I'll just color his fur or whatever he has, his usual gray, and it'll just be like a really dramatic zoom in. I think that'll be dramatic enough. Maybe I can mess with like some red glow or something. That's usually a pretty good dramatic situation. The best way to ever show action with my characters is just make their hat fly off. Just make it fly into the air off of their head, and that just automatically shows that they are in a very action-y pose, so much so that their hat flying off their head. Easy every time. My favorite part, the buns. And I don't mean these. Alright, we have all of our line-arted characters. Now I like to letter our words, and this is something that I've been doing by hand the whole time. I know I can make my own font by making my own letters, but even though it's very time-consuming, I just find it's therapeutic, it's relaxing, it's fun, so let's hand letter these words. Seriously, I think hand lettering is my favorite part. Like I said, definitely could make my own font, type it in, be over with it in a matter of minutes, but I just find it so relaxing. I find this part very fun, and it also just gives it this like really, obviously the whole comic itself is already handmade. I'm clearly drawing this by hand, but the hand lettered part just makes it feel that much more like personal, I guess. I don't know. Oh, typo. Oh, I guess that's one thing. If I misspell a word, there's no squiggly line under it, so that's a huge risk I'm taking, is that I have got to be good at spelling. And so far so good. No one's pointed out a single spelling mistake yet in my comic, but it is definitely only a matter of time, and certainly talking while writing is not a good idea, but you know what? I guess we'll see what happens. Happening. Also, I do leave the eyes lowercase. I don't know where or when or why I started doing that. I think I don't know, I liked the way it looked, so I kept doing it. And I've only had a couple of people point it out since I've been posting these comics, so clearly it doesn't really bother people too much. I mean, it seems to work, right? So after I write the letters, I do go back and make sure that they're all sort of like centered or right aligned. I actually think I'm going to right align this set. So this part is quite tedious, but you know, it makes it look really nice and neat. So, you know what I think we need? I think we need a nice big red exclamation point in case it wasn't clear that our characters over here are super surprised. I think that'll help sort of help you out if you don't know what's going on with these guys. Oh, they're surprised. All right, next up, I like to hand draw our speech bubbles in. Again, I know that there are some programs that automatically do this for you, but I'm a control freak. What can I say? I need to do all of this on my own. All right, so as you can see, right here, our words are touching our bubbles. So that's an easy fix, actually. I think I can just grab these words and rearrange them, though. Is the speech bubble too big? It might be okay. It looks a little awkward, but I think it'll be okay. All right, got those connected. Just going to add, what is this called? A tail or something? I have no idea, but that looked really good on the first try, so good job me. Beautiful. I don't even mind that it's like not perfectly straight, because again, I am loving that hand-drawn vibe with this. And we need our speech bubble tail situation. Why do I keep drawing these so well the first try? Oh my god, I love it. Love it. We're gonna go onto the side. Again, why do I keep drawing those so well the first try? Alright, drawing my bubble. Definitely my first time saying that line. Definitely haven't tried this like 6 times. Ooh, I like that one. I mean, first try, look at me go! And our perfect tail, first try. What is this? All right, we've got our line art, we've got our words, we've got our bubbles. One thing I haven't done is any sort of background, so we don't need a background for this one. I think these 3, I'm just going to do a very simple wall background texture. I'll be honest, calling this a background is definitely a stretch. It is definitely just some lines in the background, but you know what? It's in the background, so I count it. I count it as a background, so it fills in the space, it keeps it busy enough. Don't worry about them being really messy and overlapping like speech bubbles in characters. That is something that we're going to fix as we color it. So I like to put down a straight line and then hand trace it just so that it isn't quite as perfect. I just like the hand-drawn feel. I don't want this super perfect or anything. I mean, it'll never be perfect, but you know. you know. Gonna add some texture. They are in a carpeted area, so we're gonna add a little bit of carpet. Carpet, that's really risky for a place where a bunch of children are doing arts and crafts, but you know. These little swirls in the wood are also one of my favorite details. It's just like one of those simple things that breaks up the normal lines just going through the wood. You have a knot in the wood. It's super cute. Okay, we've got our backgrounds done. Super quick and easy. Let's see. I usually like to color in the back and work my way forward. So, we're gonna start off with some simple coloring. Well, that was really simple for backgrounds for this one in particular. Not that many of them are much more complicated. I need to turn off the sketch layer. Ooh, look how crisp and clean it is now. Okay, I like to do bubbles next because it really makes them pop off of the darker backgrounds. So let's do our bubbles next. And just like that, you can see everything start to come together, especially now that we have our background lines hiding behind our speech bubbles. They are still peeking through our characters, but soon enough, we're gonna start adding color and even those will disappear. So we're gonna make our character layer a reference and then we can just start dropping colors in. Super easy. Look at that go. Wow, makes coloring so easy. Actually, I was thinking about adding some sort of dramatic lighting or something in this panel. Let's see if we can get some sort of texture or something fun. Sort of layer some textures and make them get darker. Oh, I like that. And that'll also help. Ooh. The bubble wasn't sort of popping off as much as I would have liked it to because it was white and our character's skin or fur or whatever is also very light. Oh, I like that. It's super mysterious. Yep, look at that. The speech bubble pops off so much better now. And it also might be kind of fun to clear up his eyes, just so they're sort of glowing and being so much more dramatic. Yes, yes, look at the drama, so dramatic. Just gonna add a little bit of shading to help separate some of these aspects. Like this arm here looks like it could be benefited from adding a little bit of shading so that it's not super blending into the body. I'm also going to shade this back leg so that not only does it show it's a back leg, but also it helps separate from this character. Look at it, this panel is coming together. I think the only thing to add are their little cheeks, which adds just the right amount of splash of color. It's pink and cute. They got little cheeks. Oh my gosh, they look so much more like themselves with the cheeks on there. Absolutely adorable. And there it is, our first panel done. Let's move on to the next. What's this? The second panel is done. And what's this? The third panel we've already finished. This is our last panel. Oh, I guess there's one thing that I never mentioned was the color palette of my comic. Why I only use grays, pink, red, dark red, yellow, orange, and then like a wood and dark wood color. Basically, I have chosen a color palette to match a pencil because pencils are a huge theme here if you couldn't tell at this point. Their hats are pencils, the tint they are in is a pencil shape, and I draw pencils a lot. And I thought it would be cute to limit the color palette to the palette of a pencil and then just sort of like keep it that way. I thought it was really cute. I think it keeps things like cohesive and I don't know, I like it. I like the limited color palette. It's like black and white with a splash of color. It's really cute. Oh, all we have to do at this point is add their little cheeks in and it's done. It's done. We finished a comic together. Is that it? Did I do it? I'm sure I will miss some sort of details. In fact, I wonder if I should add some silly like shine to the knife. That might be sort of silly and fun, huh? I like that idea. There we go. Yeah, that's absolutely the detail we all needed. I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. This is a comic finished one of our pages finished. That is page number 64. You will see this in a very long time. I do post comics twice a week on Wednesday and Sunday. I've been thinking about doing it 3 times a week. We'll see if I post a bonus. I also have Sketch Scouts on Twitter, Instagram, Tapas Webtoons. Basically, if you look for them, you can find them somewhere. And that's it. We finished our whole 4 panels of comic. I think this one turned out really cute. I like it. This is, I mean, come on, look at that. Look at him. I think my favorite part is gotta be everybody being spooked. Pretty cute. I do like it. The story progresses. What story? You'll have to read and find out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, you too are also a Sketch Scout. Earn your merit badges at KaseyGolden.com, and you can get these super holographic stickers. Look at them, they're so shiny. But before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your weekly support. If you want early access to these videos, secret sketches, live streams, and more, check out my Patreon and the link in the description. Thank you guys all seriously so much for your support. See you next time. Bye.